The old woman, Ilara, didn't flinch when the fat brown rat skittered across her kitchen floor, disappearing behind the wood stove. She merely sighed, a sound like dry leaves rustling, and reached for a small woven basket on the shelf above. Inside, nestled amongst dried herbs and smooth river stones, lay a handful of strong peppermint leaves, their scent sharp and invigorating even in the dim light. She wasn't calling an exterminator. She never had. Her family, rooted deep in these ancient Appalachian mountains for generations, had their own ways that cost nothing but a little time and knowledge, passed down like the stories of the hills themselves. You, meanwhile, probably paid the exterminator last month, maybe even last week. You never paid anything. The modern world, with its gleaming trucks and chemical sprays, charges you for a problem that folks here solve for free long before pest control became a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's a stark contrast, isn't it? A $26.2 billion industry, according to IBIS World's 2024 projections, built on our fear of creepy crawlies and our dependence on quick, often toxic fixes. But what if I told you that the solutions to most of your household pest problems are already in your pantry, your garden, or can be acquired for pennies? What if the very things you're spraying around your children and pets are not just unnecessary, but potentially more dangerous than the pests themselves? This isn't some new age fad or a desperate call to abandon modern science entirely. This is about rediscovering practical, time-tested wisdom. It's about looking back at how people lived intimately with nature, understanding its rhythms and using its gifts to maintain balance, even in their homes. The Appalachian families who settled these rugged lands faced relentless challenges, and pests were certainly among them. But they learned through careful observation and generations of trial and error to harness the power of specific plants, minerals, and simple mechanics to keep their homes free of invaders. They weren't just surviving. They were thriving without ever spending a dime on commercial insecticides. Max here, and I'm going to show you how their forgotten knowledge can save you a fortune and protect your family from both pests and harmful chemicals. We're talking about methods so effective, so ingeniously simple, you'll wonder why we ever strayed so far. Let's start with perhaps the most common home invader, the tireless, relentless ant. They march in lines, scout your countertops, and seem to appear from nowhere the moment a crumb hits the floor. But before you reach for that aerosol can, consider a trick that has wiped out entire colonies for generations. The first method for ants is surprisingly simple. A mixture of borax and sugar. It sounds too easy, right? It's not. Ants are drawn to the sugar, carrying it back to their nest as food. Unbeknownst to them, the borax, a naturally occurring mineral salt, acts as a slow-acting stomach poison, disrupting their digestive system. Within 48 to 72 hours, the entire colony, including the queen, can be eliminated. Just mix 1 part borax with 3 parts sugar and a little water to form a paste. Dab it on small pieces of cardboard or bottle caps and place them near ant trails, out of reach of pets and children. It's a silent, efficient, and devastatingly effective strategy. The second method for dealing with ants is a simple vinegar spray. Ants communicate through pheromone trails, invisible paths they follow to food sources. White vinegar, with its strong acidic acid, acts as a powerful disruptor. It not only kills ants on contact, but also erases those pheromone trails, disorienting any incoming scouts and preventing others from following. Mix equal parts white vinegar and water in a spray bottle. Spray directly on ants you see, and then wipe down countertops, floors, and any surfaces where you've noticed ant activity. The vinegar smell dissipates quickly for humans, but for ants, it's a confusing, impassable barrier. The third ant deterrent is a common spice you likely have in your pantry right now: cinnamon. Ants absolutely detest cinnamon. The strong scent overpowers their ability to smell food and disrupts their pheromone trails. You can create a natural barrier by sprinkling ground cinnamon around entry points, windowsills, door frames, cracks in the foundation. For a more potent effect, use cinnamon essential oil, diluted with a carrier oil, and dab it on cotton balls or directly onto surfaces. It's a completely non-toxic repellent that makes your home smell wonderful to you, but utterly repulsive to ants. Now, let's move on to a far more destructive and often feared pest: rats. These rodents can spread disease, chew through wires, and contaminate food stores. The Appalachian solution wasn't about expensive traps or dangerous poisons, but about understanding their habits and creating environments they couldn't tolerate. The first method to repel rats is peppermint oil. Remember Ilara and her peppermint leaves? Rats, with their highly sensitive noses, find the strong scent of peppermint incredibly offensive. It irritates their nasal passages and disorients them. Soak cotton balls in pure peppermint essential oil and place them in areas where you've seen rat activity: under sinks, in pantries, near entry points, or even inside cabinets. Replace the cotton balls every few days as the scent fades. It's a powerful, natural deterrent that makes your home an unwelcome place for rodents. The second method against rats involves a bit of physical prevention: steel wool blockades. Rats can squeeze through surprisingly small openings, often no larger than a quarter. Identify any cracks, holes, or gaps in your foundation, walls, or around pipes. Stuff these openings tightly with steel wool. Rats can't chew through steel wool. Its sharp edges irritate their mouths and deter them. This simple, inexpensive material creates an impenetrable barrier, cutting off their access points. It's a permanent fix that requires only a keen eye and a bit of elbow grease. The third method for rats, when prevention isn't enough, is the classic snap trap. But not just any snap trap. We're talking about reusable ones. The Appalachian approach emphasized resourcefulness and sustainability. Instead of disposable traps, which are wasteful and inefficient, they used sturdy wooden snap traps that could be cleaned and reset. Bait them with a small dab of peanut butter, cheese, or even a piece of jerky. Place them along walls where rats tend to travel. This method is quick, effective, and allows for repeated use, embodying the resourceful spirit of the mountains. The fourth rat deterrent is a combination of cloves and garlic. Similar to peppermint, these strong-smelling natural ingredients are highly offensive to rats. Crush several cloves and a few garlic cloves, mix them with a bit of water to form a paste, and spread it in areas where rats are present. You can also place whole cloves or garlic cloves in mesh bags and hang them in pantries or basements. The pungent aroma creates an invisible shield, sending rodents scurrying for less aromatic pastures. Next up are cockroaches, those notoriously resilient and unsanitary invaders. They thrive in darkness and moisture, often making their homes in our kitchens and bathrooms. Appalachian folk had several effective, low-cost ways to deal with them too. The first method for cockroaches is boric acid. Now, a word of caution. While highly effective, boric acid must be used carefully, especially around children and pets, as it can be toxic if ingested in large quantities. However, when used correctly, it's devastating to roaches. Boric acid works by clinging to a cockroach's legs and antennae. When the roach grooms itself, it ingests the powder, which acts as a stomach poison, and also dehydrates its exoskeleton. Lightly dust a thin layer in cracks, crevices, under appliances, and behind cabinets where roaches hide. A barely visible layer is all you need. The second method for cockroaches, and a true unsung hero of natural pest control, is diatomaceous earth. This fine white powder is made from the fossilized remains of ancient aquatic organisms called diatoms. To us, it feels like talcum powder. To an insect, it's like walking through a minefield of razor blades. The microscopic, sharp edges of diatomaceous earth cut through the waxy outer layer of an insect's exoskeleton, causing them to dehydrate and die. The EPA has approved it as safe for humans and pets, making it an excellent choice for general pest control. Simply sprinkle a thin layer in areas where roaches are active. The third cockroach deterrent is something you might throw away: bay leaves. Cockroaches, like many other insects, cannot stand the smell of bay leaves. This simple aromatic herb acts as a powerful repellent. Place dried bay leaves in your pantry, under your sink, in drawers, or any other area where you've noticed roach activity. You can also crush them slightly to release more of their potent aroma. It's a safe, non-toxic, and surprisingly effective way to keep these unwanted guests at bay. Now, let's turn our attention to the buzzing, biting menace of mosquitoes. Not just annoying, mosquitoes are carriers of disease, making their control a matter of health as well as comfort. The Appalachian approach focused on repellents and traps rather than widespread fogging. The first method for mosquitoes is the use of pennyroyal, or Hedioma pelagioides. This plant, native to the Appalachian region, has been documented as a natural insect repellent since the 19th century. Its strong, minty aroma is highly effective at driving mosquitoes away. You can plant pennyroyal in your garden or in pots near entryways and outdoor seating areas. For a more direct application, crush the leaves and rub them on your skin. Be cautious with large amounts as it can be potent. Alternatively, you can create sachets of dried pennyroyal to hang indoors. The second mosquito deterrent is a plant renowned for its repellent properties, citronella. While often associated with candles, the citronella plant itself is a powerful natural repeller. Plant citronella in your yard, especially near outdoor living spaces. The plant releases its aromatic compounds into the air, creating a natural barrier against mosquitoes. You can also rub crushed citronella leaves directly onto your skin for temporary protection, much like pennyroyal. It's a simple, living solution that beautifies your space while keeping pests away. The third method for mosquitoes is a simple apple cider vinegar trap. This ingenious, low-cost trap attracts mosquitoes with the fermentation scent of the vinegar and then traps them. Mix apple cider vinegar with a few drops of dish soap in a shallow bowl. The soap breaks the surface tension of the liquid, so when mosquitoes land to investigate, they fall in and drown. Place these bowls in areas where mosquitoes are a problem, both indoors and outdoors. It's a wonderfully effective way to reduce mosquito populations without chemicals. Next, we tackle fleas, a common nuisance for pet owners and a persistent problem that can quickly infest an entire home. The Appalachian methods were about breaking the flea life cycle and using natural repellents. The first method for fleas involves a combination of salt and vacuuming. Fleas thrive in carpets, upholstery, and pet bedding. Fine table salt acts as a desiccant, dehydrating and killing adult fleas and their eggs. Sprinkle a generous amount of fine salt over your carpets and rugs, letting it sit for 24 hours. Then, vacuum thoroughly, disposing of the vacuum bag immediately outside your home. Repeat this process regularly to break the flea life cycle. This simple, non-toxic approach is remarkably effective. The second method for fleas is a dish soap trap. Similar to the mosquito trap, this method leverages light and surface tension to trap fleas. Place a shallow plate filled with warm water and a few drops of dish soap under a nightlight or lamp in areas where fleas are prevalent. Fleas are attracted to the light, jump towards it, and get trapped in the soapy water. This is particularly effective overnight and can help you gauge the severity of your flea problem. The third flea deterrent is cedar oil. Cedar oil is a natural insecticide that disrupts the octopamine neuroreceptor pathway in insects. Mammals, including humans and pets, do not have this receptor, making cedar oil a safe and effective option. You can dilute cedar oil with water and spray it on pet bedding, carpets, and upholstery. It not only kills fleas, but also repels them, leaving a pleasant, natural scent. It's a powerful tool in your arsenal against these tiny, irritating pests. Finally, let's talk about general preventative measures that Appalachian families incorporated into their daily lives to keep their homes pest-free year-round. These aren't just one-off solutions, but habits that build a resilient, naturally protected home. The first general preventative measure is a revisit to our friend, diatomaceous earth. Beyond targeting specific pests like roaches, a light dusting of food-grade diatomaceous earth in hidden areas like wall voids, attic spaces, and crawl spaces acts as a general, long-lasting deterrent for a wide range of crawling insects. It remains effective as long as it stays dry, providing continuous protection without the need for reapplication every few days. It's a foundational element of natural pest management. The second general preventative measure is meticulously sealing entry points. This is perhaps the most fundamental step in preventing any pest infestation. Walk around your home, both inside and out, with a keen eye. Look for cracks in the foundation, gaps around windows and door frames, holes where pipes enter the house, and torn window screens. Use caulk, weather stripping, or steel wool to seal these openings. Eliminating these access points is a non-negotiable step in keeping pests out. It's about proactive defense, not reactive attack. The third general preventative measure is unwavering cleanliness and proper food storage. Pests are primarily attracted to food sources and shelter. By keeping your home meticulously clean, wiping up crumbs, sweeping floors, and regularly emptying trash, you eliminate their primary attraction. Store all food in airtight containers, preferably glass or sturdy plastic. Don't leave pet food out overnight. This simple discipline removes the incentive for pests to enter and makes your home far less hospitable. The fourth general preventative measure involves using herbal sachets. Many aromatic herbs that we find pleasant are potent repellents for a variety of insects. Lavender, mint, rosemary, and even dried citrus peels can be placed in small sachets or bowls in closets, drawers, and pantries. These natural scents deter moths, spiders, and other small insects, adding a fresh aroma to your home while providing subtle, continuous protection. It's a gentle, beautiful way to maintain a pest-free environment. So, what can you do today, right now, with what you likely already have in your home? First, grab that white vinegar and a spray bottle. Mix it with water and wipe down your countertops, floors, and any surfaces where you've seen ants or other crawling insects. This immediately disrupts their trails and cleans surfaces. Second, check your pantry for borax and sugar. If you have them, mix up a small batch of bait for any ants you're seeing. Place it carefully out of reach. Third, if you have a pet and suspect fleas, grab some fine table salt. Sprinkle it liberally over carpets and let it sit. While it's working, vacuum any visible fleas from upholstery and pet bedding. Then, in an hour or two, vacuum up that salt. Fourth, take a quick walk around your house. Look for any obvious cracks or gaps around windows, doors, or pipes. Even if you don't have steel wool, consider using a temporary fix like tape or even wadded up paper towels to block the biggest gaps for now. It's about immediate action, using what's at hand. The Appalachian way wasn't about perfection, but about practical, immediate solutions. You don't need fancy equipment or expensive chemicals. You need awareness, a little ingenuity, and a willingness to embrace the wisdom that has kept homes safe and healthy for centuries. These methods are not just about killing pests. They're about fostering a healthier, more self-reliant household. They're about rejecting a system that profits from your dependence and reclaiming control over your home environment safely and effectively, just as Alara and her ancestors did for generations. Remember, the true cost of pest control isn't just the bill from the exterminator, it's the hidden price of chemicals and the loss of practical natural knowledge. Reclaim it. Your family, your pets, and your wallet will thank you.